tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, our assistant extraordinaire, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela.
Yes.
One of our listeners was wondering what was your facial expression like when I was doing my ending fairy. But you're so busy outside and you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I was too busy. I was listening to it and I wasn't monitoring the screen.
Did you hear me? Did you see me dance? 성인식?
I saw
That's
PD
good.
like switch the
She's very
camera
busy,
work.
guys. Do you have an ending fairy?
An ending fairy.
You don't know what an ending fairy is?
Like ending 요정?
Yes.
Yeah, I know what it is. Like, do I have it?
Yes. You don't have your signature ending fairy? Does it? I thought everyone had their own ending fairy. No?
No, idols have it.
I mean, I don't.
You're an idol?
Door idol. Door idol.
SJ's dad jokes are just like flying right by me today. I was like, okay.
It's Monday. It's Monday. I'm not gonna ask you to do your ending fairy. What's our random tidbit today?
You mentioned it in the opening today. Today is coming of age day, so I thought we'd talk about it today. And I was gonna ask you, what year did you become an adult?
When did I become an adult? But
Yeah.
it depends. Like my 18th, like
Or
my
19. So in Korea, coming of age day is when you turn 19.
19 Korean age?
Yes. 19 like birth year.
Oh, 19th birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And that would be 2005.
2005. Do you
Yes.
know what year the people who officially became adults this year were born in?
Don't tell me 2005.
2006.
Oh my gosh. 2006?
2006, a year after SJ came to became an adult, the year Big Bang debuted and Super Junior topped the charts with their iconic song "You."
You know, in 2006.
Feeling old yet?
Yes. Actually, at this time, no, maybe a few weeks later. 2006, I came to Korea, watched the German World Cup. I was in Apgujang's rodeo 거리, drunk off my mind, celebrating World Cup tie between South Korea and France, making my waves on television, random television. Wow, my goodness, really?
Yeah. So
People are born in 2006?
yeah, that's what I said.
Gosh.
Your daughter is born in 2024.
2024 she was born
Yeah.
in. So what's our tidbit about 2006?
No, it's about coming of age day.
I thought we were going to be talking about the German World Cup
No, you're
and stuff
shocked.
like that.
You're in shock right now. So today's tip is about coming of age day, known in Korean as 성년의 날, and it's one of Korea's official commemorative days. And as you mentioned, it's held every year on the third Monday of May. So this year, that's today.
So is it like kind of like a national birthday for everyone from 2006?
So no, it's like more a rite of passage. So it's not about individual birthdays. It's not like when you become 19. It's a collective celebration to recognize everyone who's turned 19 that year. So it's a symbolic way to welcome those people into adulthood with all the rights, responsibilities, and expectations that come with it.
I'm trying to think what was like the most adulting moment for myself. When did I go like, oh, I was an adult? So what actually changes when you do become an adult here in Korea,
So
though?
quite a few things. The Public Official Election Act allows all citizens aged 19 and older to vote.
Okay.
Very important for Koreans now. At 19, the ban on smoking and drinking is also legally lifted. Plus, you can get married without parental consent. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but you can. And you're also legally responsible for your actions in a new way once you turn 19, socially, financially, and even criminally.
I remember when I turned 18, I have a late birthday, right? So I was in college and I turned 18 and me and a few of my friends were going to go out celebrate my birthday. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, time out. I need to go to the convenience store first. And I went up there and I was like, can I get a pack of a certain cigarette company? And I wasn't even smoking. And then the guy goes, here. I was like, oh.
They didn't take your ID.
Oh, I wanted them to check my ID. I was like, I don't want this anymore. So I bought lottery anyways. When did Korea start celebrating this day? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, so Coming of Age Day became an official national event in 1973. Originally, it was held on April 20th, but they moved it to May 6th in 1975 and finally settled on the third Monday of May in 1985, where it's remained ever since.
Has the age always been 19? Because I feel like maybe it was different before.
Yeah, it was. You're remembering right. Before 2013, adulthood was legally recognized at 20.
There you go.
Yeah, but with growing global trends and earlier emotional and social maturity among youth, Korea lowered the age to 19.
It's got to be soon enough. They're going to lower that to 18, I feel like. Kids are getting like more... Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back.
Like in some ways they might be, but some ways maybe not.
Yeah. So is this like a modern tradition or was this something that goes back like way, way, way back?
Yeah, coming of age day actually has a long history. In ancient Korea, especially during the Three Kingdoms period or 삼국시대,
Oh my goodness.
yes, boys went through intense training to prepare for adult roles in society. So they actually had to be trained to become adults.
So technically this has been around for like centuries,
Yes, yes. And during the Shilla dynasty, crown princes would be dressed in adult robes to symbolize their new social status. And in the Joseon era, this is, I think, the most symbolic one, but the rites became more formalized. So one of the rites was called 관례, a coming-of-age ritual for boys, which was sometimes tied to weddings or official appointments.
I remember when I turned adult, I definitely wore something special.
Oh, you did?
Skinny jeans. I was like, I'm an adult now.
That was your special robe for...
That was my special role for my adulthood. I was like, I'm going to wear skinny jeans.
You can't wear skinny jeans when you're...
You get made fun of in high school if you wear skinny
Really?
jeans, yeah. I tried wearing those. I don't know if you guys know what diesel is. I don't know if they're around.
I wore skinny jeans when I was in high school because
Yeah, but you're a girl though.
No, because that was when G was in, right?
Who?
G, Sonia.
Oh,
SNS,
G?
Like everyone wore skinny jeans back then. Today is my day of making you feel old.
She said high school. She said I was fully an adult and more when G came out.
Yeah.
But I wonder though, how did all that look though? Like the whole the outfit back in the days, not the skinny
for
jean
the
days.
관례, so not skinny jeans. Yes, boys would have their hair tied up in a 상투 or top knot, and girls would stop wearing braided hair and instead pin it up with a piña, a traditional or ornamental hairpin. So it was really cool. You could tell who was an adult based on their hairstyle.
Man buns.
Yeah,
You had to have man buns.
The ultimate adult hairstyle.
Man buns. That reminds me of Denny Hong. I miss him now. This is very symbolic, but do people still do that though?
So obviously not in daily life, but since 1999, the National Youth Commission and Seonggyungan, Korea's foremost Confucian institution, have been working to revive these traditional ceremonies. So some cities even hold reenactments at cultural sites, and you can do it if you want to.
Yeah, so over in Chungmuro Station, there is a folk village.
Yes,
I know
there
that they
is.
have like what is it, coming of age ceremonies and things like that. And especially
right.
for foreign visitors, they have like they teach them how to go through all the rituals and stuff like that. But today, let's talk about how it's celebrated. It's not tea drinking and hanbok and stuff like that. It's a different kind of thing.
So traditionally, in Korea, for coming of age day, you receive 3 symbolic gifts. You mentioned it at the opening yesterday. A rose, representing love, perfume, representing charm, and a kiss, symbolizing maturity and relationships. So if you don't have someone to give you all this, some families commemorate the moment by pouring their child's first legal drink.
Yo, that's messed up.
Why?
Because remember I said my ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
she was like, it's, was coming of age.
day.
And she's like, give me a rose, give me a perfume. But she didn't say no kiss.
Maybe that's because it had only been a month since you were dating.
No, she used me. She used me. She just wanted the perfume and the rose.
Not the kiss.
Not the kiss. She used me. Goodness. But yeah, this is very different from back in the days
Yes.
here. We're going to take a short song break and continue to talk about today coming of age. But first, let's take a listen to a song here from Mongni with A Boy Grows Up, 소년이 어른이 돼요.
Oh, God.
소년이 어른이 돼요. Right?
You're really bad with long titles.
I am, and
It's not even that long.
I'm in for a quite a challenge in the second hour. By the way, we talked about coming of age day. Let's continue to talk about this.
Did you know, SJ, that while 19 is the official age of adulthood, Korea actually has different age limits for different responsibilities?
Like what?
So, for example, you can legally get a part-time job at 15.
Okay.
You can apply for a motorcycle license at 16.
Geez, 16.
Yeah. And with parental consent, you can even get married at 18. And the national ID card, 주민등록증, that's issued after you turn 17, but you're not a legal adult until 19.
Oh, so you can get an ID, but what use is it if you can't use it to go to bars and clubs and stuff like that? I mean, that's the only time you really need it, don't you? But
guess.
why is it not 18 like in other countries,
Well,
though?
it's really just all in the law. Like the definition comes from Article 4 of Korea's Civil Code, which clearly states a person becomes an adult at the age of 19. But as you mentioned, there has been some debate to lower it to 18.
So are all laws like consistent with this age, though?
Not always. For instance, under the Korean Film Promotion Act, the so-called movies you can only watch when you're above 19.
19금.
Yes, can be actually watched at 18. But if you're still in high school, you might not be allowed. So you don't want to try going with your school uniform there, even if you're 18. So practically speaking, 19 is still the standard.
I also heard that some laws use a different system as well.
Yes, so the 청소년 보호법 or Youth Protection Act, which defines adulthood not by your actual birthday but by your birth year. So if you're turning 19 this year, you're considered an adult from January 1st, even if your birthday is in December.
Okay.
Yes.
All of this is like really, really confusing,
Yeah,
though.
I thought it was confusing as well, but it reflects how society tries to balance legal structure with practical life.
Okay, so does becoming a legal adult actually mean that you're fully grown, technically?
No, so you talked about it earlier, like kids are becoming more mature these days, and
And I say no.
no,
not
yeah.
really. Not really.
So neuroscientists also say like you're not fully grown even you become a legal adult. According to researchers at the University of Cambridge, the human brain continues developing well into your late 20s and even early 30s.
Yeah, not to mention guys mature also later than women, right? I mean, goodness, I still have like the mind of a 19-year-old right now. So like, you know, am I really so the adult brain
Yes.
technically still under construction then.
Basically, yes. So researchers explain that the brain is still pruning unnecessary connections and reinforcing important ones even after age 18. And they say it's misleading to think of adulthood as a sudden switch. It's more like a 30-year-old journey of gradual change, and you don't go straight from kid to adult.
Yeah.
And society's legal definitions are more for convenience in education, healthcare, and law than a reflection of actual maturity. So don't be worried if you still think like a 19-year-old.
No, but see, the thing is, though, I've matured. It's taken almost 40 years, but I've matured. So even if the law says you're an adult, your brain might still be catching up.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why understanding coming of age day is more than just celebrating a legal milestone. It's about recognizing that growth is a process.
I know a lot of countries have their own sort of like coming of age day celebrations, right?
Some do, though not at age 19. In Latin America, girls often celebrate their quinceanera at age 15. In Jewish communities, boys have bar mitzvahs at 13 and girls have them at around 12 or 13. But these are all more cultural than legal, and they serve a similar purpose.
If MTV taught me anything, there's also the Sweet 16 parties, but I don't think you're an adult. They're so immature.
I think it's kind of different.
So immature, right? So immature. But what about in Asia, though?
Japan celebrates Seijin no Hi on the second Monday of January. It's very similar to Korea's coming of age day, but girls wear kimonos and boys wear suits or traditional hakamas.
All right, there you have it. Let us know your traditional coming of age day celebrations in your respective country. Angela, when you pick songs,
Yes.
it's one of the two.
No, it's
Day
not.
6 or 17. What song did you have to round things out here?
Today is 17, but it makes sense because it's a song that celebrates youth, dreams, and growing up. Here's Cheers to Youth or 청춘 장가 by 17.
All right, Angela, we'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio, Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela, 나펜준 says 착한 앤젤라님 드셔야 하는데.
I did get one. Thank you.
Yeah, there's like two things wrong with this sentence.
Why?
착한 and 드셔야 하는데. You drank one. You had one.
And I didn't drink it yet, so
착한.
I'm nice.
I'm scared of her sometimes.
No, when you were talking about milk, it just reminded me. Do you remember that ad, Got Milk?
Yes.
Yeah, that was what everyone was
How do
talking
you remember Got Milk commercial?
because I was there in the States.
You were so young though.
Yeah, but like everyone was like, Got Milk?
Oh yeah, I even had a shirt that said Got Milk.
Yeah.
It was like you had the milk
Yeah,
mustache.
the milk mustache.
And then some of the most famous people used to come out in that with the milk mustache.
And this, like, not Pinson giving us milk today just reminded me of that.
I should have just asked everybody, got milk? Got milk? Got milk?
Yeah.
Got milk? Milk is not paying us.
Yeah, but milk is not today's tidbit.
What is today's tidbit?
Have you ever heard the phrase 당근이세요?
도루하세요?
당근이세요?
Yes. I you know why?
What?
If you're talking about the the 당근 market, the
Yes.
second hand, because the rule of thumb is if you're married, you know the wives never go out.
Oh, really?
It's always the husband.
Well, I'm not married, so I wouldn't.
It's always the husband that needs to go out, and that's why like the two husbands come in, they go like 당근이세요? It's like, are you? We're just
Yeah.
like, yes.
So, like, 당근이세요 literally would mean, are you a carrot?
Are you a carrot?
Like,
Are you a vegetable?
are you a carrot? Yes, but no, here it's, in this case, it's short for 당근 market. So basically, are you from 당근 market?
Yes.
And so what 당근 market is, it's a hyper-local secondhand transaction app that's taken over Korea by storm in just a few years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's basically the go-to app for secondhand transactions. And I bet you didn't know this, but 당근 is a play on 당신 근처.
I bet you I did know.
You did know.
Yeah, I mean, because we did talk about this on previous seasons, and yeah, it was only like it was a couple of years ago that I found out it was like 당근 meant 당신 근처.
Yeah, so that means near you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's not about carrot, it's about neighbors connecting.
Although
Yes.
although the icon uses carrots,
Yes.
right? It's a play on
It's a
word.
word on play, yeah.
Yeah. So is this like relative? Like how long has it been? Because it's been a while.
So it became big during COVID-19.
Yeah.
But it officially launched in July 2015 under the name 당근 and rebranded in August 2023 to highlight its broader community role. And as of now, it's the #1 secondhand marketplace in Korea with over 35 million users and 18 million monthly active users.
That is pretty impressive because I used to use a different kind of
Yes.
platform that was run by Naver.
Yeah, most people would remember that.
중고나라.
Yes.
Used world. But what makes it stand out from other secondhand
So
platforms?
당근
though?
market is special because of its hyper-local approach. Users are only allowed to trade within a 6-kilometer radius from their neighborhood, and you have to verify your location through GPS before even chatting with another user. And that local boundary really creates a sense of community, and it's almost like a neighborhood flea market in your pocket.
Yeah. Interesting stuff here. Napensun says because they didn't want them to continue to go 당근이세요. They have a bag. They gave out a
yeah.
bag.
So they gave out like echo, like it was a kind of promotion they did. They gave out like free bags for that had the 당근 on it.
And so that you know that that's
Yeah.
the person that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, she actually 당근 today. She sold a desk. Oh my goodness!
Wow,
Did you just casually sell a desk?
I have
Oh my
sold desks on 당근 market before.
You sold desks too?
Yeah, because I was moving.
Oh, okay.
I was moving and I was selling my desk.
Oh my goodness! You could. Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
thing to kind of. Okay, so you're selling or buying from people around you. That's why 당신 근처 near you.
Yes, exactly. And that means most transactions happen in person. So like because it's around your block, most people, have the transactions in front of convenience stores in the neighborhood, nearby subway stations, or even in front of their apartments or houses. And unlike older platforms like the ones you mentioned, 중고나라 or 번개장터, that were swamped by resellers or scammers, 당근 feels more like trading with your actual neighbors. So I guess trust has become one of its selling points.
Although there has been like 당근 scams that are going on
Yes.
as well. You have to be very, very careful. But another good way to, when you're doing these transactions, another popular place to do the transaction is in front of the police station.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that. I was like, do you not trust me? Why are we here? It's like, I mean, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal that you do it. Don't be offended if they want to meet in front of the police station, okay? So what do they mostly sell? I mean, goodness, a desk?
Yes, furniture.
My wife sells a lot of like kid stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Toys, books, things that we don't
Exactly.
need anymore, and
Yeah.
things like that. So what's the most like? What do they mostly sell?
Well, it can get wild, actually. People sell everything from, air fryers, kids' toys, unused shampoo, potted plants, leftover moving boxes, even just the packaging of luxury brands. Anything you can sell. And there are also free giveaways. You said you sold toys.
My wife did.
You haven't done anything?
I haven't done anything so far, but I need to sell something soon.
Why? What?
Do you need a wine cellar by any chance?
But yes, people do sell wine cellars on the platform.
Wine cellars are actually one of the most popular items to
Yes.
sell because if you're like me,
You're getting a bigger one.
yeah, like in the beginning you buy one that holds 12, right? And then you go, 12 is enough. 12 is enough. No, 12 is not enough. And so I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to
Yes.
probably sell it, and that person's going to sell it again. It seems like people have fun selling stuff on
They
this
do,
platform.
yeah. And there are even fun stories related to this. So when early when the app launched, someone posted a single chicken nugget for sale. Yeah, so it became a kind of meme, but it shows like this platform is different from other secondhand platforms because it's really playful and it's really about forming micro communities in near the place you live.
So it's like part marketplace and part social platform then.
Yes, and that's by design. 당근 has tabs like 동네 생활, neighborhood life, where people just post about local events, lost pets, job openings, and even ask, where's the best tteokbokki in the area.
Oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
very useful. And you can even join local hobby groups or neighborhood meetups. So it's really like a neighborhood social media and social networking system.
Oh, wow. They have
Yes.
meetups too.
Yeah.
Okay. So this brings people together both online and offline.
Yeah, that's the idea. And to boost engagement, the app gamified parts of the experience by adding things like user badges. So you can get badges like neighborhood walker or local explorer if you interact often on this on the tab. And, it's kind of like achievements in a game.
All right. Well, we're going to continue to talk about this particular platform, but I can't for the life of me know why you chose this gem of a song, Orange Caramel with Catalina. Why Catalina? Why?
Because 당근 market,
Is orange?
the app is orange.
I think we have an Aja here. Orange Caramel with Catalina. orange caramel, the color of Trump's face. With Catalina. A lot happened while we were listening to that song. She said there was no song she could find that had to do with carrot.
Yeah.
And you didn't know the 당근 song.
I didn't.
사랑해요 당근. 좋아해요 당근. No?
Maybe it's something old people know.
No, it's a new song. It's kids sang that song.
That would explain why old people know
That's
because
when,
they
like-
have children.
There was like when, what is it, the 숫자 song came out.
Well, that is old.
The Uyu song came out, and then all of a sudden Ping Pong came out. And they all disappeared because Ping Pong was so big. But 나벤숨 said 삼성동 근처에 온도 50도 여자 보시면 접니다. Wait, 50 degrees, isn't that low?
So actually, there's this thing called a 당근 온도 on the app.
Yeah.
So it's like 당근 manners temperature.
Right.
And when you first join, your temperature starts at 36.5 degrees.
Oh, okay, like
The
human.
human body
Okay.
temperature, and it goes up to a max of 99 degrees based on your behavior and interactions. So 50 degrees is actually pretty high. Mine is 49.6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and better your manners, the higher your score. And, fun fact, the neighborhoods with the most users who have a perfect 99-degree score are Seoul's Gangnam, Songpa, and Bundang in Seongnam City.
The rich people, folks. The rich folks.
Maybe they have a lot of stuff. Or places where they have a lot of workers. Mm-hmm. So a lot of workers go to work and then they
okay.
sell stuff at work.
Our producer is 36.9.
Oh, he's
He's
low.
he's human. He's just human. He's just human, right?
Yeah.
나펜은 also telling us she's rich.
No, maybe she works nearby.
She lives in Samsungdong. She's giving 120 milks away.
Why are you out for blood today?
I'm just jelly. My neighborhood has nothing. They're selling nothing. It's the worst place to be doing danganing in my neighborhood. Anyways, let's talk about the actual process of all this.
Oh
though.
yeah, it's super simple. You find something you want on the app, you message the seller through the 당근 chat and agree on a time and place, and then you meet and exchange.
That's it?
Yeah, you go there and say 당근이세요, and the
Or-
transaction is done.
Or as Yangurum says, just carry around a tangan and then you'll know what happens here. But let's talk about security, okay? Because
Okay.
this is, again, we talk about scams.
Yes, of
And whether or
course.
not you trust other people, even if you have, if you're 60 degrees and you decide you're going to turn bad, you could scam people. What do we do here?
Well, 당근 introduced 당근pay in collaboration with Shinhan Bank in October 2024 for, safe transactions. They launched a safe payment feature to help avoid account transfer mistakes and minimize scam. And, you can also report scammers' suspicious activity. And if multiple reports pile up on one user, the system automatically hides the post. So that's one of the main reasons, actually, people moved from other platforms to 당근 because they really try to, prevent scammers and, make it a safe space.
Yeah, I've been scammed before.
You have?
Yeah, not 당근.
Oh.
In 중고나라.
I've actually been scammed recently. So,
Is that what you're talking about?
no.
Is this what you're talking about this?
Well, yes and no.
So let's also talk about the free giveaways. I like
yes.
this.
Napins mentioned that she does it often, I think.
Yes.
Yes, but there's an entire category just for 무료 나눔 or free sharing. People often post things they no longer need but don't want to throw away, like half-used lotion,
Oh my goodness.
extra dishes, or even plants they can't take care of anymore.
I think I did something like my wife was doing this a lot. There are things that you can't really sell.
Yeah, and you can't sell, but you don't want to throw away, and it's a waste to throw away.
And also things that are hard to move.
Yes, exactly.
Like stationary bikes. People just don't want stationary bikes anymore. And so you have to do free giveaway. And then people will come actually pick it up and stuff
actually
like
some people even turn it into a hobby, sort of.
that. Oh?
Yeah, they go around collecting free stuff in the neighborhood and also looking at the items in their house and seeing what can I give away. But like if you do it too often or resell the freebies, people will notice and your giveaway history is visible. So you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
often,
yeah.
Yes.
So there's obviously like 당근 etiquette. We
Yes.
talked about like the ondo, the temperature and stuff like
Yes,
that.
of course. Like the obvious, always be honest about product condition.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ghost people. Make sure you're not asking for unreasonable things like negotiating an item that's already selling for 3,001.
Oh, they do that.
Yeah, or asking the seller to deliver it to another neighborhood.
Oh.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ghosting happen. They get like second thoughts, and then like at least tell them no, you don't want to get it anymore, right? I mean, why do you ghost people and stuff like that? I want to ask you this though. You were I missed out on we talked about the ondo and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and there's actually people who have 99 degrees,
Yes.
which is ridiculous here. But especially in the economy that we have right now, where the economy hasn't been great.
Yeah.
This is a very good option to save money.
Yeah, it is. It's economic, but not just that. It's social, emotional. It's even environmental. 당근 helps reduce waste and builds micro trust among neighbors. So for a lot of people, it's not just a platform. It's part of their daily routine.
Good stuff. Good stuff there. I just want to clarify a lot of misunderstandings, like Seyoung stealing milk, but not Pinsun's also. She says she's not rich because if she was
obvious.
rich, would she be working overtime right now?
Or maybe that's why she's rich.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm becoming bad. I apologize.
No. All jokes and fun here. We talked about it. I'm pretty sure there's other platforms right now in other countries as well. And tell us what kind of platforms you use in your respective country. Angela, thank you very much. And today, rounding things out, at least you had this song. You chose a song from N-Hyphen.
Yes, let's end with Not For Sale by N-Hyphen. The title sounds ironic for today's theme, but the lyrics match the vibe.
All right, there you have it. Angela, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in the studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela.
Yes.
You actually used to do the whole wine tasting thingy before I ever did,
Yes.
and I used to always ask you questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Now I think I drank more wine than she has.
Yeah, I think now you know more about wine than I do.
But I had one of our listeners, not Pensu, our listener who sent all that milk.
Yes.
She said if she wins the lottery, she'll buy me a bag, but I wanted a Romane Conti instead. You know what she offered?
What?
A G7. G7! Why don't you just give Why don't you just give me yellowtail? Might as well just put it 1 + 1. G7 yellowtail. I can't believe it. I'm offended. Have you ever drank that before?
G7?
Yes.
Desperate times. Desperate times, desperate measures. Won't do that again, even if I'm so desperate.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that was a great answer, Angela. What's our today's tidbit today?
Well, today is Wednesday.
Okay.
Do you know what's special about Wednesdays in Korea?
I could think of a number of reasons. But are we gonna talk about what happens in the old Japanese embassy in Seoul?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So every Wednesday at noon since 1992, there's been a demonstration held in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul. It's called the Wednesday demonstration, or
Right.
Suyo Jipe in Korean. And we're talking about it because last week marked the 1,700th protest.
That's so incredible. Guys, there's 52 weeks
Yes.
in a year, right? Which means that you'll have like 52, 53 Wednesdays in a year and things like that. And to have 1,700, and for every single week,
Yes.
that's more than 3 decades.
Exactly. And the very first protest happened on January 8th, 1992. It was timed with the visit of Japan's then Prime Minister, Kiichi Miyazawa. And since then, with the exception of 1 week during the 1995 Kobe earthquake, it's been held every single Wednesday.
So tell us what exactly the protests are all about for our listeners who might not have heard this before.
Sure. So the demonstrations are led by the Korean Council for Justice and Remembrance, and they're holding these protests demanding justice for the victims of Japan's military sexual slavery system during World War II. These victims are often referred to by the euphemism comfort woman.
Yeah, and so like for the longest time they were using the term comfort women,
Yes.
and then we went through a certain time where we didn't use that term. But I think now it's just used.
It's too widespread, so it's
Yeah,
just used together.
Yeah, and some people still they do just still go with yes, sexual slaves by the Japanese military, right? The longer term, but now, like you said, because it's so widespread used,
Yes.
and I believe the victims have given the okay as well.
Because it was what they were called during the time, so yes.
It is a very painful. Not to mention, if you read up on the history of it, it is very disturbing.
Yes,
Very disturbing
it
part of
is.
history.
So what it's like during the war, thousands of young girls from Korea and other Asian countries were forced into sexual slavery by the Japanese military, and the Wednesday protests aimed to restore the victims' dignity and human rights, and to push the Japanese government for an official apology, legal reparations, and a truthful record in historical education.
And you said just last week they hit 1,700.
Yes, that's right. But what made this one even more emotional was that it happened the same morning as the funeral for Lee Ok-sun. She was one of the last few surviving victims.
I remember when I first came to Arirang back in 2013, I think it was, and I was working with the news team because I was a sports guy. And at the time, one of the news that they covered was that there was now 28 living survivors, and that was over 10 years ago.
Yes.
That number has
Dramatically decreased.
Yeah, we're at the single digits, I believe, right now.
Yes.
So again, how many survivors are there with us now?
Well, so Lee Ok-sun passed away last week at age 97. She wasn't just a survivor, she was a fierce activist and one of the most vocal advocates for justice.
Yeah.
And at her funeral, dozens of wreaths and condolence banners were sent from all sectors of society. But as you mentioned, out of the 240 victims officially registered with the Korean government, only 6 are still alive as of now.
6.
Yes, many of them were old to begin with,
Yeah.
but time is passing and now we're in the single digits.
Which makes it, again, even more important that we
Yes.
continue to raise these issues.
Yes, exactly. That's why these protests are so urgent. The generation of survivors is nearly gone, but their legacy lives on in the form of these Wednesday demonstrations, which is why they're so important, and also in structures like the Statue of Peace.
Yeah, so the Statue of Peace is the bronze statue. You could actually see it in many different parts of Korea. There is actually one at the Pyeongchon Central Park near my house, where I had a chance. I go there every time I go kind of jogging.
Yes.
I always stop by and look at it, and then I go, and I didn't know that there was one located in our neighborhood as well, but there are many located
Yes.
throughout the country. And this is a very symbolic, very famous statue that you can also
Exactly.
see in other parts of the world too.
Exactly. So the Statue of Peace, also called the Sonyeosang, was unveiled during the 1000th protest in 2011. It's a statue of a young Korean girl in a traditional Korean dress sitting on a chair, sitting across from what used to be the Japanese embassy. A small bird sits on her shoulder, symbolizing peace. It's really become a powerful symbol for the Wednesday protest and these victims. And as you mentioned, replicas now exist in cities like Busan, nationwide, but also globally, even in San Francisco.
That's right. And of course, when we have the installations of the peace statue, the Japanese government decides that they're going to say something and say stuff like, you need to remove that installation.
Yes.
Why, I wonder why. I want to ask you this as we go into our short song break here. You chose a song, Yumire, Rose or Got. Why?
Because this song was an original soundtrack for the film Kim Bok-dong. Kim Bok-dong is a survivor of the Comfort Woman, and she was a fierce human rights activist.
She is probably the most recognizable
Yes.
names amongst the victims. So we'll play that song for our listeners out there. Yumire, Rose or Got. And that was Yumire with Rose or Got. We're talking about the Wednesday demonstrations that happen every Wednesday in front of the old Japanese embassy in Seoul. Going back here again, the consistency. The fact that every single Wednesday for the past almost 30 years, over 30 years, that they had this. 1992, ladies and gentlemen. You weren't even born in 1992.
Yeah, it is amazing. And in fact, it's even recognized as the longest regular protest focused on a single issue.
So the protests are about remembering the past, but also pushing for real action in the present. I think that's the most important part.
Yes, exactly. So protesters are still demanding 7 key things. 1, acknowledgement of war crimes. 2, full truth-telling. 3, an official apology. 4, legal reparations. 5, punishment of those responsible. 6, accurate education and textbooks. And finally, a national memorial and museum.
Like, it looks, come on, guys, if they decide that they're going to install the peace statue in a different country, now they can't stop this from happening in Korea, obviously, but like San Francisco, right, New Jersey was another state that they were talking about this, and Germany was one, and there was a lot of controversy with Germany. If you're going out and telling the U.S., the local government to remove the statue, like, it looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, it really looks bad, So they're trying to, I feel like they're doing what's called a waiting game, right? They're just waiting for all the victims to pass away, and they think that they're going to forget. That's not going to happen,
It's
guys.
very unfortunate.
They've been doing this for over 30 years. You think they're going to forget? Come on now. Let's talk about, speaking of which, how the Japanese government has responded to all this.
Well, so as you mentioned, there have been unfortunate responses. There have been attempts at apologies and deals. Most notably in 2015, Korea and Japan reached an agreement briefly under President Park Geun-hye and Prime Minister Abe, but the victims said it was done without their consent and lacked sincerity. So under President Moon Jae-in, the deal was scrapped in 2018. As we can see from this, it's not moving forward. Japan is not really giving a sincere apology.
Worst deal ever. You guys don't understand how controversial it was.
It was terrible.
It's like basically going, someone slapped Angela in the face, right? And then I go talk to the person who slapped Angela in the face. It's okay.
I forgive you without even discussing it with me.
Right, and then basically going, here's the money. And I go, thank you. You see how ridiculous this is. And you see why, under the former President Moon Jae-in administration, this was completely scrapped. But so what we're trying to say is the core issue of this, after all these years, still remains unresolved.
Yes, exactly. And survivors and activists believe Japan still hasn't issued a full, sincere apology or taken legal responsibility. And that is why these Wednesday protests continue.
I wonder, though, how they're able to keep protesting near the embassy here, because I thought under the Korean law, it's prohibited. Is it because it's a former embassy?
Yes, good question. So demonstrations within 100 meters of a foreign embassy are restricted under Korean law, but there are exceptions. For example, if it's a small or medium-sized protest and doesn't disrupt embassy operations. So the Wednesday demonstration qualifies, and since the embassy has moved, as you mentioned, it is now fully okay.
Yeah, and so it gets small too sometimes. I remember during COVID, when people weren't allowed to gather in large groups, small groups
still gathered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. COVID, the pandemic didn't stop these people from protesting, getting the message across here. So what does the Korean Council hope to see moving forward, though? Because it does seem bleak considering what Japan has been doing all this time.
Exactly. So the Korean Council is hoping the next Korean president will prioritize this issue. In fact, one of the surviving victims, Lee Yong-soo, recently pleaded to be heard before all the survivors die, which I think is really important and urgent.
And again, we go back to saying that we now have 6 remaining victims left. And so is Japan, who's been trying to hide all the past atrocities, just playing the waiting game here and think you don't have to apologize once everyone passes away. But also it's important that past is important, but it's not just the past that we need to focus
the
on.
present is also very important, and the message is very clear. It's about justice, proper education, and human rights. And as the Korean Council said during last week's protest, we'll continue shouting with even louder voices until Japan apologizes and makes legal reparations. Our Wednesday protest will go beyond the 1,700th.
John says, exception protest Japanese embassy as much as possible. Well, it's a former Japanese embassy. That's why you're allowed to do the protest there. Again, with such a long legacy, these protests are going to be a huge part of Korean civic culture,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. It's not just about victims and activists anymore. Everyone nationwide, high school students, elderly citizens, even tourists and foreigners join this when they support the cause.
Very quickly, what can people do who want to learn more about the
So
issue?
they can visit the website for the Korean Council, but also I think films are actually a really accessible way to start. There are several powerful movies that portray the stories and struggles of the victims, such as Her Story, released in 2018, I Can Speak, released in 2017 based off of Lee Yong-soo's story, and Spirit's Homecoming,
this one.
Hang, released in 2016, which is a very deeply emotional film that depicts the victims. And watching these can really help people understand why the Wednesday demonstrations still matter so much.
Definitely so. And again, we're going to continue to raise these issues whenever we can.
Yes.
Just a reminder, our listeners and every one of us, time and time out, the atrocities until proper apology is issued. Angela, thank you so much for your tidbit today. Have a safe rest night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Sending her out of the studio, let's take a listen to a song here from B2B with Remember That, 봄날의 기억.
The Culture Inc. We're not listed on the stock exchange, but the value of K-culture to the moon.
Coffee break. Today's tidbit.
All right, it's time for our weekdays coffee break. Today's tidbit, and joining us in this studio is Angela. Angela, hello to you.
Hi, SJ.
Angela,
Yes.
remember how for this segment we're always like we're looking for sponsors? You have your Tumblr, so we want some sponsors from Spucks and stuff
Yeah.
like that, whatever we can get. I think in a few weeks we might be the official program of G7. Like a G6, right?
Yeah.
The song is like a G6, not 7. Guys, please, we do not want to be sponsored even by G7.
I don't think they will want to with all the stuff we said about it.
Exactly, of all the things. But I don't know, money is good. If they pay us good money, I might just be like, this is the only wine I drink. Not even.
Dream big, SJ.
That's right, that's right. What are we going to be talking about today?
Do you like theater? Like plays or musicals?
I don't know. I am very uncultured. But of all that you just talk of plays or musical, I prefer musicals.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've been to a number of
Oh,
musicals
I would not expect that.
because I'm uncultured.
Well, yes and no.
I saw the what is it? What Notre Dame is it? Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Hunchback of
I saw the Korean
Dame.
one and the original one.
Oh, yeah, they have great numbers.
Slept both of them. Slept on both of them. But why are we talking about this? Are we talking about theater today?
Yes, theater or performing arts. That's today's tidbit.
Okay.
Yes, and I really like theater.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love Greek tragedies like Oedipus Rex and the Bacchae. Have you heard of them?
Hey, Angela.
Yes.
Why'd you skip the sentence? She skipped the sentence, assuming that I have not participated in any theater. Have you ever participated in one, like acted in a school play or anything? Why'd you not ask me that?
I changed the script before, and you got the old one.
I got the old one.
Yeah. Have you
I
participated?
have.
Really?
Yes. I was in my 4th grade play.
Were you a tree?
No, I was an orphan. I was doing a play, Annie. And I was an
Just as
orphan
much.
named David, although in the original play or in the original musical, it's an all-girls orphanage.
Yeah.
But I was an orphan named David, and I had 2 lines.
Oh, wow. Do you remember the lines?
I do remember the line because it was so short.
What were they?
She doesn't look like a boy, and it was like ha 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 orphan. It was funny because I was an orphan too. So
Yeah.
those are the 2 lines that I had.
The start of your comedy career.
Yes, yes.
Well, I haven't been in any theater. I haven't
Okay.
been on stage. But I do like Greek tragedies. So
Mm-hmm.
I got really excited when I saw this year's opening performance at the Busan International Performing Arts Festival, or I don't know how to pronounce it, BPAF for short. Yes.
Okay, BPAF. It seems like it's BPAF. Did you say you were a big fan of like Greek tragedies?
Yes.
Right? So Oedipus?
Yes, Oedipus.
Okay, this is cool stuff here. So Busan has an International Performing Arts Festival, the BIPAF, aside of the more famous BIFF, which
Yes.
is the Busan International Film Festival.
Exactly. So, first tidbit for today, the 22nd Busan International Performing Arts Festival kicks off on May 23rd and runs until June 1st. That's 10 days of pure performing arts from around the globe.
So what can people expect this year, though?
So, the theme this year is regeneration and balance, and it also celebrates the year of Korea-Italy cultural exchange. I bet you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
You'll see 58 performances from 14 different countries held across multiple venues in Busan, from theaters like the Busan Cinema Center, 하늘령 극장, or outdoor spots like Millak the Market, and even Dongsu University are participating.
All right, so then what kind of performance are we talking about then?
Well, everything from physical theater and puppet shows to street performances.
Puppet shows?
Yeah, that's performing arts.
That's true.
Yeah. And there's also a special K-stage lineup featuring top Korean performing arts groups, international collaborations, workshops, and even performances made by regular citizens.
Like regular citizens, as in like people like you and I?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Yeah, one program is called 10-minute open place, 10분 연극.
Just 1 10 minute.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, anyone from amateur artists to college students can perform short skits, dances, or magic acts. It's about making theater more accessible and participatory, and not just something you just sit and watch passively.
All right, so anytime there's some sort of like festival, right?
Yes.
Whether it be a film festival, in this case it's a performing arts festival, the opening performance is always like in the spotlight.
Yes,
What's
it's
the
the
opening
highlight.
performance this year?
So remember how I said I love Greek tragedy?
Yes.
Yes, well, this year's opening performance is a modern retelling of my favorite tragedy, Sophocles' Oedipus.
Oedipus, okay.
It's Tragedia, the Song of Oedipus, directed by Alessandro Serra and performed by Teatro di Sardegna from Italy and the U.S. It's premiering in Korea for the
Mamma
first
mia!
time.
Did you live in Italy a bit here?
My friend is Italian.
Oi, Alessandro Serra and Teatro di Sardegna.
I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation, but I tried my best.
Oh, mamma mia! Very nice. What is it about?
Well, so
I can't get the accent down.
you're like, what is it about?
I can't get the accent out in time. Sorry. What is it about?
Well, for people who are unfamiliar with the story of Oedipus, it's about fate, identity, and self-discovery,
Okay.
to put it very shortly.
Yeah.
The version that will come to Busan brings new life to the story with dynamic staging, raw performances, and it has a really immersive direction style. I saw the teaser online, and it even won Best Show at the MES Festival in Sarajevo, so people who are interested in performing arts should look forward to it.
So is this going to be done in Korean, or is it going to be like the original, like
The original,
Oh,
yes.
wow, that's nice. And what about the closing ceremony?
So another highlight of the festival is the closing ceremony, and it will be the vegetarian from Italy and South Korea.
Huh?
And yes, it is based on Nobel Prize winner Han Gang's novel, The Vegetarian.
Wait, so The Vegetarian is a novel written by Han Gang,
Yes.
but from Italy and South Korea?
Yes, the two countries are producing the play together.
Oh, it's a play?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I thought it was going to be like
reading?
performance reading or something
Oh
like that.
no, it's a play.
She doesn't want to eat meat anymore. Like read that.
Yeah, that is also performance arts. But,
Oh wow. Okay, so what else is happening at the BitPath?
Well, after the opening weekend, there will be global programs like Antigone from Israel, Ascension from France, and Chair by Japan-Italy team. Why did you get surprised?
No. It's just like it's cool because like
Yeah.
all these it's Greek tragedies,
Yes, yes.
right? But it's performed by other countries.
Exactly.
That's why.
Yeah, it's a modern telling, most of them. And there's also a big outdoor section called Dynamic Street where performers from Korea, Hong Kong, and elsewhere put on street shows. So even passerby can become a part of the festival.
All right, very nice, very nice. So Angela, what else makes BitPath stand out from other festivals?
One thing I really admire while doing my research was how globally connected this festival was.
Sure.
BPAF has official partnerships with major festivals in France and Italy, and that means Korean artists have more chances to perform overseas and vice versa.
We talked about how this being very family friendly, right?
Yes.
Kid friendly as well. Let's talk about things you can do with kids or just family.
So there's the BPAF Kids program at Paegyang Arts Center Theater. It features shows like from Israel, like A Sick Day for Morris McGee and Tailor Made. So I think it will be a great intro to theater for younger audiences.
All right. We're going to continue to talk about this particular festival here. But first, let's take a short song break. This is Hwa Young-eun with 연극이 끝난 후 after the play.
At BPAF.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we've talked about plays, and now I want to share a big moment for Korean musicals as well. Do you know the musical Maybe Happy Ending, 어쩌면 Happy Ending? Have you heard of it?
No. As you know, I'm very uncultured. Remind me, what is it about? Remind me, what is it
So
about?
it's a beautiful original Korean musical that follows two outdated robots that resemble humans named Oliver and Claire, who live in solitude after being abandoned by their owners. And one day they cross paths and begin to develop feelings as they go on an unexpected journey and learn about love. It's a very touching musical, and it's a very famous one in South Korea.
So it's like a romantic Wall-E.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Wall-E and Eve.
Yeah.
But except it's Oliver
Yeah.
and Claire. Tell us about this.
The music was composed by Will Aronson and the lyrics and script were written by Hugh Park. And the show had its very first performance in Korea back in 2016. The original Korean production starred Jeon Mi-do and Jung Mun-sung, both of whom later became hugely popular thanks to Hospital Playlist.
Okay. So what's the news about the musical then?
Well, the Broadway version of Maybe Happy Ending just won 4 major awards from the 2025 Outer Critics Circle Awards in the U.S. These include Outstanding New Broadway Musical, Outstanding Book of a Musical, Outstanding Score, and Outstanding Direction of a Musical. Lots of accolades.
That's a lot. And you know, Broadway, I'm from New York, right? The Broadway's is no joke.
Exactly, and this isn't even the first time it's been recognized this season. Earlier in May, it won Best Musical from the New York Drama Critics Circle, and then took home 2 more awards from the Drama League, including another for directing. And people are now calling it the Parasite of the performing arts scene.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's now heading towards the Tonys, which is the most prestigious awards for performing arts, which is like the Oscars for theater.
It's been nominated for the Tonys?
Yeah, it's been nominated it's been nominated for 10 categories at the 78th Tony Awards. Yeah, it's a lot. And if it wins, it would be the first time ever that a Korean-created original musical written by a Korean team takes home a Tony.
I mean, this is big. This is historic in many ways.
Yeah, and news for people who are abroad, it's still running on Broadway as an open one with tickets available through January 17th, 2026.
Okay.
So you still have some time. And meanwhile, in South Korea, it's preparing a 10th anniversary performance of the show as well. So we also have to look forward to that.
You were saying that how this is about performing arts.
Yes.
And so we have other arts to talk
Yes.
about. I don't know how I feel about the next one you're going to talk about here. Tell us
Yes.
about this.
So for our last stop in today's tour of performing arts, mime. I knew you would do that. I guessed so many things right when writing today's script. I was like, he's gonna sing Ihyori's song and then he's gonna do a mime dance.
Do you know, I actually have something interesting to say about mimes.
What?
When I was in elementary school, I think it was in 4th grade. That was a 5th grade play. When I was in 4th grade, do you know who Marcel Marceau is?
No.
Marcel Marceau is probably the most famous mime. He's French, and he came to our school, and he did a lot of this, but really good, really good, right? Like he was good. He wasn't like me.
cool.
But mime,
Yes.
okay. What do we do? What do we do? Mime. Let's talk about mime here.
So starting on May 25th, the Chuncheon International Mime Festival kicks in. It's 37th edition, running until June 1st. This year's theme is bodyscape, a kind of living landscape shaped by the body, so very fitting for mime. And it's about expanding how we view movement and performance beyond just words or dialogue.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about mimes.
Why
but,
not? You don't like it?
I mean, It's art. It's art.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to understand art. That's why.
Okay.
Not art. Not all art can you understand.
Do you think Mr. Bean would be considered mime?
No, that's a different kind of mime, though.
Because like he only uses his facial expressions.
It's true, but it's like it's TV. You know, you got the whole surroundings. Whereas
yeah.
mime, you have to create like the surroundings and things like
Sure.
that. Oh, by the way, very quickly though, speaking of like musicals and stuff like that, The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
That's coming to Korea. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was produced by a Korean.
Yeah, it is.
It's coming to Korea this summer. So if anybody's interested in, there's something for you. Angela, before we go, let you go. You have a song that you chose here. Why did you
Yes.
choose this song?
For all the performers on stage and the audience elsewhere, this is 관객이 될게 I Stand You by IU.
All right, Angela, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.